some excitement into your holidays. Just pick up the phone and meet somebody new on the Romance Connection.
Call this number now and hear recordings of single girls and guys that want to meet you.
Even if you don't want to talk to anyone, it's fun just to listen to pretty girls describe themselves.
I'm ready to meet someone. How about you?
The Romance Connection. 1-900-909-8080. $2 first minute, 45 cents additional minutes.
Find holiday love on the Romance Connection. Call now.
The Livestream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Good evening and welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and if you enjoy talking about music, movies, mostly TV from decades gone by, you've come to the right place. And tonight, folks, we've got RetroPALooza 7. We've had so many of these things that I've actually had to go back and look to see and do a formal count. This is number 7 in what has to be my absolute favorite group of people to get together and just hang out and visit. And as such, let me kind of talk to you all about how we're going to do this tonight. I'm going to bring on the RetroPALooza gang in just a minute. And then we're going to talk about holiday memories. And at some point during that conversation, we're going to ask you to share yours as well, and we'll put those on the screen. But what we won't be able to do is just like I do, and I know so many of you are familiar with Thresh Pondo's live streams. We're not just going to answer questions throughout the live stream. We're going to actually have a conversation and go down memory lane a little bit, wax nostalgic, if you will, about the holidays. After that, we're going to bring on a couple of special guests, and I'm very excited about our guests tonight too. And then when we're all done with that, we are going to open it up to questions and answers, or 4 questions and answers, and whatever else may come our way. Hopefully, most of it is holiday themed. I also have to say that there's a few vintage commercials I'll share. And as well, YouTube has told me, and I haven't tried this yet, so tonight's going to be an experiment, but I got an email a few days ago saying that I have the ability to gift 5 memberships on this live stream tonight. So I'm going to try. During the second set of commercials, I'm going to see how that works. The way it works is I don't get to select it. It goes in and it looks at who is in the chat and who's part of the live stream community. And then it uses some sort of fancy algorithm to figure out engagement, not just over the course of the live stream itself, but rather in the community. And it gifts these free 1-month memberships. So hang on. And if you will be patient with me, we'll try an experiment and see if that works with for our community later on tonight during the live stream. But without any further ado, I'd love to bring on the trio of fellers, my brothers from other mothers, the RetroPALooza gang, and we will welcome you all as a group after I bring them on. First, we've got Pat McCormack. Pat, how are you?
Doing good, Dave, buddy. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Barry King. What a treat it is to have you here.
And a treat to be here. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? I'm ready. I'm done shopping. I'm ready to go.
Oh, I'm so jealous of you. Done shopping already. Wow.
Yeah. Didn't have a lot to buy.
Well, I'm still jealous. And last but not least, definitely not least, Robert Thresh Pondo Pons. Welcome to the live stream, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me. As always, I'm the first one here and the last to arrive.
Yes. So I'm going to just keep my fingers crossed for you and the whole freezing thing. This is Bob's third time entering into the live stream, and there has been a couple of other freezes. We'll just see how it goes tonight, right?
I took a screenshot of one of them because it was so good. It's like, I got to have that.
That's right. If it does, if you do freeze, Bob, I'm hoping it's like the last time.
Well, I'm not going to try it again, guys. Well, I switched from my laptop to my PC. Maybe I'll have better luck with my PC tonight. But if I freeze, I'm just going to stay frozen. So I'm going to try to keep a dignified pose. We'll see how long this lasts.
All right. Well, let's see who's here in the community.
Can I see a dignified pose?
Oh, very good.
Yeah, okay.
You know, most of Bob's poses are very dignified. It was kind of rare, and it's why I'm glad Pat says that he got the screen capture there of the last one, because it was delightful.
Well, that's nice to hear. I appreciate that. That's really good.
Uncanny.
He just had an itch. It was
I don't know.
an itch.
Yeah.
How did he get knuckle deep is my question. It's like, man,
I got short fingered.
digging for gold.
All right, let's see who's in the chat. We've got Danny Staten from South Carolina. Welcome, Danny. Channel member Lance Chaffin, welcome. And by the way, I saw a super sticker from Lance. He just paid for this Coke Zero. Thank you, my friend. Truly appreciate it.
Saved by zero.
Yeah, saved by zero. Let's see. Channel member Justin Aylett is here. The topic tonight, he wants to know, it is holiday memories. Constant Cherry, welcome. Hungry Jerk, welcome. Let's see who else we have here. Adrian James, always a treat to have you here. Tom McCluskey, welcome. Let's see. Kenneth Wilkinson's hanging out with us tonight. Channel member Music, Movies, and More with Brian says, how is everyone? We're doing great. Can't think of a better way to spend an evening than hanging out with this community.
Not bad. Not doing bad at all. Thank you.
How about those Niners?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Unstoppable. Cinderella stories of that quarterback is just.
Yeah.
Was it a basketball game or something? What happened?
Yes, Gary.
Basketball.
We're talking flag football. You know, you used to play it in high school.
Oh, okay.
There is a great Tube song that I don't think is on any Tube's album, but they played live all the time, called Sports Fans. And
oh, yeah.
And they refer to the Niners, I think, a couple of times in that song. Keith E., welcome. Good to have you here. Let's see. Tracy Roth Myers. We may see a little bit more of Tracy in a little bit. Channel member Tracy Roth Myers, welcome. Let's see who else we have here with us. Scrolling. Tug, channel member, the Unapologetic Geek. Welcome to the live stream tonight. Good to have you here. Look at this. We have a new channel member already tonight. Blissful, thank you so much for becoming a supporting member of this community. We'll be having a channel member only live stream in the next week or so, and hopefully we'll see you there as well. Wajameen, welcome to the live stream. Jerry Gillespie, aka Mark Gerard, good to have you with us. Gary Carpenter, thank you for joining us. Channel member Dominic D, channel member Angela McArdle, so good to have you here. Chance, the nostalgic pod blast, welcome. David Kerbo, channel member Dave Kerbo, and channel member Sean Innes, thanks so much for your holiday greetings and joining us tonight. Channel member Double RT 2001, welcome. Channel member Dominic D, Scott Bauer. Let's see. I think you know what? I could do this all night. Cindy D, welcome. Good to have you here. Jason Goldtrap, welcome. Channel member Emily Miller. I got to stop somewhere. I'm going to stop right there.
That's a good place to stop.
It's a good place. Although whoever else arrived afterwards, they're saying, no, it's not a good place to stop. Say my name.
It's all right. Blissful is here. As long as Blissful is here, we're in good shape.
For sure.
Absolutely. All right, fellers. So RetroPALooza 7, holiday memories.
7?
7 of them, if you can believe that.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. I've lost count. I'm like Dave. I lost count.
I would have said 5.
Yeah.
That would have been my guess.
Time flies when you're having fun, you know.
Yeah. My old
flies
thoughts
by
always,
real
we're
quick.
not doing this enough. We should be up to
No.
14 by now.
We probably
Sure.
should. If we did this on a monthly basis, we'd be up to about 14.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know how we want to start this, but here's the thing
the
is I'd
beginning.
love to talk about. I'd love to talk about holiday traditions, whether they're current holiday traditions or perhaps something that's really memorable for you guys in the past. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Is there any volunteers to go first? And is there a volunteer?
No? Oh my gosh, come on.
I
Come
see
on,
two
Barry.
fingers pointing to Barry. Oh,
I know Barry has stories.
Barry.
Are you talking to me?
Yo,
Talking to you, man.
Sure. Holiday
I know he
tradition,
does.
especially during Christmas. One that sticks out for me is back when I was a kid, we'd show up at our grandparents' mom's side of the family. Grandparents lived high on the mountain of the Lookout Mountains of northeast Alabama. And we would go up there, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was an uncle of mine who dressed up as Santa Claus, and we were really little. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old. And the old house they lived in had a tin roof on the top. It was an older house built many years ago, and it was theater. They would add to the realism. Somebody would go out there. See, I found all this later. I thought it was real, but they would throw pecans and rocks on the top of the roof and go, oh, the reindeer are landing. Do you hear that? They've landed on the roof. So they had that going. So we knew he was coming. He would come through the door. They'd open for him. And there comes Santa Claus, bigger than life. And that was my uncle at the time. He was a big man. Think Jackie Gleason size. You know, he's a pretty big guy with that big of a personality, my Uncle John. And he'd come in dressed as Santa Claus with a big sack over his back. And he'd come in and he'd distribute gifts to all the grandkids. We were there, and it was just a tailor-made. You could have made a Lifetime movie out of this. I mean, it was tailor-made for kids, and him coming in for Santa Claus. I remember I got one of them. I don't know if you guys ever got it, but I remember one year I got one of the silver flashlights with a red end on the end of it. It was a flashlight that held batteries with a little red end on it. And they were around all over. Everybody had those back then. Got a flashlight, got a little car. It would be something every year. And Uncle John, who's no longer with me, would show up as Santa Claus. That was one big memory I remember growing up at my grandparents' house with my parents there with us.
You know, it's amazing how things like flashlights were just like the best Christmas gifts ever. I remember getting one too, like that. And it was the littler ones, right? The little
silver with red end, little red tip.
Yeah, yeah.
Boy, you guys are easy.
Well, we were easily entertained.
It's a flashlight. I got the
We're
phone
out in the middle of
book.
nowhere.
It's just what I've always wanted. The phone book.
Well, that was
I can see now. I could see.
That's a hard one to follow. Barry's story was pretty darn poignant, nostalgic. But Pat Thrash, who wants to go next?
It was. I'll try one. It's not nearly as innovative or theatric or Hallmark Channel as Barry's, but it was a pretty cool one. My situation was, I lived on Cape Cod, but my extended family lived up near Boston, and they used to come down on the summers all the time. But during the school year, I didn't get to see them that much, and I absolutely idolized my cousins. I had an older cousin named Chris, and one who was in between us in age named Pam, and I just thought the world of them. And we had this tradition. What we would do is we would actually go up on Christmas Eve. And it was really cool because we'd have a big family meal. I'd get to see my cousins who I idolized. We could open up a present on Christmas Eve, and we got to have like this sleepover. So it was like this really cool event. And then we woke up, and it was Christmas morning, and we would our presents and raise mayhem and have a wonderful Christmas breakfast. But I think, and I love the presents I got. I was always a materialist since Labor Day. It just meant the world to me as a kid.
We got most of that story, Bob. I will tell you, you're breaking up a little bit. and now it looks like you may have frozen. But good
That's
news
the
for
perfect
you,
pose.
it's very dignified.
Oh my! Am I breaking up again?
Yeah, you froze again. But and we got
Okay.
most
You know
of
what
the
I'm gonna
story.
do, guys?
You're still
Yes, we
cutting
do.
out.
Well,
wait,
you know
now
what I'm
you're
gonna do?
back.
I'm gonna
You're
try
on.
the
Got it, Thrash
PC
Man.
one more time. I'm gonna bail on you guys last time, I promise, and I'll see you guys on the personal computer because the personal computer doesn't freeze.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Pat, you're up, my friend.
You know, we could replace him really
We're-
quick. I got a
That's
phone
right.
number
Well,
here.
here's what Bob doesn't know. We've got two guests in just a little bit. They're basically trying out for that fourth spot. Like
Poor Bob. Oh my gosh. I was gonna call the romance connection.
Well, it's fun just to hear girls talk about their what was it? What did you
Yes,
say?
that was the one. That was
It's
the
fun.
one. It's also fun just to hear girls describe themselves and what they're wearing.
The fact that that was an actual commercial just blows my mind.
$2 for the first minute too. I mean, think about it. $2 back then was probably like $20 today. So
yeah, very expensive. Those weren't cheap.
no, see,
Yeah,
phone
very
prostitution has been around since the beginning of push buttons. Yes.
All right, you're up, Pat. Holiday memories.
Oh man, so many. I came from a pretty good sized family, so that was cool. Meaning it was with two brothers and a sister. There was never a shortage of presents, and I mean, there were years where we went so overboard that literally half the living space or living room where we would have the opening ceremony was half full of presents. And I mean, of course, I think probably at that time we started having kids, not me, but my older brothers and sister had kids. And so, as they all procreate, guess what happens to the present count?
Yeah.
And I just remember one year where my mom just said, you know what, we can't do this anymore. It takes, she timed it, 4.5 hours.
Wow.
To open the
That
present.
is a massive present opening. 4.5 hours. Good gravy.
See, and we didn't have a production manager for this. So basically what it meant was, okay, they're opening right now, everybody, shh, they're opening. And you'd have to wait. And for that one person to open, and boy, it better be good, because you come up with just some socks. It's like, and then after a while, it would just break into a free for all, or you just hear so that was always fun. It was just as fun rolling around in the paper afterwards.
Oh, absolutely. And
Sure,
playing with the boxes.
I still do that now.
Yeah. And I still remember my favorite, the best kid Christmas present I ever got, which you guys should probably know.
Wait, Pat.
Am I ruining this thing again?
Yeah, we're going to do favorite gifts next.
See, I knew it.
Stop.
I do this. This
Stop.
is okay. This may be episode 7.
Gifts and least favorite gifts next. So
maybe I am.
Hold that thought.
That's it. 7 for 7. I have jumped ahead on Dave's itinerary.
It's okay. You think I do a better job of communicating it. It's not your fault.
We didn't get a memo, folks.
I understood you, Dave, perfectly. I didn't have a problem.
Thanks, Barry. My buddy Barry.
I love that you talk about the kids, though, because I'm going to share two real quick ones. One, favorite memory from just as a kid. Our local news station, when I was a kid, would do a Santa alert on Christmas Eve. I don't know if your weather guy did the same thing, but mine would do where they'd actually track Santa.
Oh, yeah.
And my sister and I, we would just it's the only time we'd be glued to the news all year long, but it was Christmas Eve for, the Santa alert, just to verify that he was on his way. Great memories of just sitting by the TV. And that was pretty much the time for us to go to bed too. You guys both know that I lost 2 sisters to cystic fibrosis. And so our home, as it became smaller and as I lost siblings, Christmas Eve in my parents' house became more of a subdued, sullen affair. They tried, but there was a lot of grief in the home. And as you think about it's just a rough time for parents in particular.
Oh, yeah.
And so you mentioned kids, Pat. The other memory that I was talking with my wife about memories, and she brought this up, and I absolutely agree. The other memory that for me was awesome was that procreating and bringing 3 grandkids into the mix and going down to that home and just adding life again. My wife she'd bring cookie dough down with them, and grandma would help them make sugar cookies. And it's what that house needed after, just many years of kind of being a more solemn, even though we would try to celebrate it.
Right.
That having the little kids in there, the flurry of paper all over the place and everything. That's what the holidays are all about. 4.5 hours. I think we would have kiboshed that one at about 1.5, but
good old procreation.
Yeah.
Oh,
good old
man.
procreation at its very, very
one of my favorites.
Hey, we're going to bring Thrash Pondo on.
Ooh.
And you go ahead, Bob.
Well, here's my thought process. The laptop seems to freeze, but it doesn't do that horrid glitching where you can't understand what I'm saying. So I might freeze in an awkward position, but at least you'll be able to understand me, theoretically.
Yeah, as long as we get a good pose, we're solid. That's right. You just keep practicing in your poses, and we'll get the right one. So here's where we go out to the community. We've all shared a memory. Community, now it's your chance. Please share your a favorite Christmas memory. I see one from channel member Emily Miller already. I'm going to read this one. My aunt hosted all holiday dinners when I was growing up. Now my kids don't even know their cousin. You know what? I tell you, cousins are an interesting thing. I remember hanging out with cousins a lot when I was a kid, but as you get older, cousins become less a part of the holidays than they once were. I don't know if that holds true for you guys as well.
Very much so, yeah.
Let's see if I can see some other memories here that would be fun to share. Let's see.
I'm thinking cousins drift apart because brothers and sisters love to fight.
That's true.
That's how it works.
Yep.
Channel member Sean Innes says, my son is an only kid, and at times I think he has felt he has missed out on something. There are pluses and minuses to having siblings. I absolutely agree. Sean. Let's see.
Growing up, I had a sister, and all the kids that I knew were only children. I said, oh, man, you guys are lucky. And they'd turn right around and go, no, you're lucky because you got somebody with you in your home like a sister or brother. So, yeah.
And get along, and they get along, and that's the thing. I have a boy and a girl, and they have gotten along since day one. Now they're the closest confidants, and it's just
wow.
It's astonishing. It's reassuring.
John H says, for my church, when I was a teen, a few times we sang carols at various places, then ended up at a nice celebration at the home of one of the veteran church members. Christmas caroling was always fun. I enjoyed it, although I will say there were siblings in my family that did not enjoy it as much. I like this one. Channel member David Kerbo says, learning how to surgically remove Scotch tape. Did any of you guys ever try that? Unwrapping and then trying to rewrap a gift.
Yes.
That's almost as hard as taking a prize out of a cereal box and emptying the cereal out, then trying to put the cereal back in and going, well, wait, it came out of the box. Why is it not going back in the box?
Why is it always on the bottom?
Yeah.
If you eat a bowl or two first, it creates enough room where you can
see. He knew that. I didn't know that when I was growing up.
It's like, well, I guess I better eat the whole box in this one sitting because I really want that toy.
You got to fall on the sword for those toys sometimes.
That's right.
Aloe Duarte says, my 3-year-old nephew was asked earlier on Christmas Eve in a grocery line, who's coming to your house tonight? And how about this? He was more excited about his uncle coming than Santa. That's awesome.
Totes and
Once
doors.
again, the romance connection. Who's coming to your house tonight?
Nostalgic Pod Blast says they have a tradition, one present on Christmas Eve. That was he says, I thought it was odd when families open all their gifts on Christmas Eve. Well, so my dad was kind of a stickler for that. We'd have to beg, and sometimes we'd get that one gift on Christmas Eve, and other times we didn't. How about you guys? Was that a tradition in any of your homes?
One, sometimes two.
Wow.
You'd never believe. I found out later in life that how many people actually have a tradition of opening presents from people and mom and dad the night before, but presents from Santa Claus in the morning. A lot of people do that. We never did that. Every present got opened on Christmas morning. That's when we opened them. So, I guess it depends on where you lived and what you did.
But yeah. I've heard that too. I've heard, for whatever reason. But yeah, Christmas Day is the day for presents. Apart from that one or two.
Although when we first got married and we didn't have any kids, my wife convinced me that all we had to do was wait till 10 p.m. because then it was Christmas Day on the East Coast.
There you go. It's Christmas somewhere.
Christmas somewhere, exactly.
That's where I am, East Coast, yeah.
It was Christmas for Barry, so it was good enough for us.
Yeah, why not?
Tug says, channel member The Unapologetic Geek says, my brother would count all the presents between the three of us, weigh them, look at their sizes. He was obsessed with fairness. I was the youngest, though, so the balance always tipped my way. Kind of does with the youngest kids. Kind of does.
Yeah. Sounds like he was setting himself up for disappointment.
Let's see if there's another memory here. Concluding what Emily was saying earlier, it was the aunt that was holding everyone together, and now they meet at my oldest daughter's for Christmas. So, that makes a lot of sense that you would be hanging out with your daughter and her family instead of the aunt these days. Let's see. Here's one from David C. He says, we used to go to my grandparents' house. It was a small 2-bedroom house, and we probably had 20 to 25 people there to have turkey. Couldn't wait to get home. The sooner you get home, the sooner you can get to the business of going to sleep and waking up and getting the gifts. So I totally agree, David.
How hard it was to go to sleep on Christmas night. I mean, for me, it was. I mean, come on.
So difficult. Okay, we're going to round robin quickly because we're going to have a guest show up here in just a few minutes. But here's most favorite gift of all time.
Who gave that up? Somebody gave that one up.
Least favorite gift. So you got it's a twofer. Most favorite, start with that one, and then least favorite. And Pat, you're so dang anxious. Why don't you go first?
Good. Wait, did I tell you? Can I tell you what it was? What it was? Well, I mean, I guess as my interests changed, if it was music oriented, it was always the best present I could get, because there were times when it would be like, is that literally a Fender Stratocaster sitting underneath the tree? I unwrapped, of course. Those were always the best ones. The ones that you saw when you came up to or into the room of presents that were put out at night when, supposedly by Santa. And so, of course, that's a big memory. But I also still strangely remember my favorite toy. And I wonder if anybody had this. It was called the Gunfight at OK Corral. And what it was a really well-made little contraption where they had two gunfighters, and the gunfighter would be stuck to your gun. That would be your guy. And you would shoot marbles across the table.
I remember that game. Yeah.
And if you hit the other guy in a certain way, and it had to be a certain spot, he'd go flying off into the air. And of course, you'd won the gun battle. They had little fake rocks you could hide behind, or a fake cactus. I mean, it was, again, I was like, well, this is cute. I could not stop playing that thing. That and battling tops. I mean, I was just like, but that Gunfight for OK Corral was at OK
That's a
Corral.
cool one.
One favorite.
Wow.
Sure.
How about least
It's kind of a-
favorite, Pat?
Play.
My least favorite. That 2-year subscription to the romantic connection.
Oh, come on.
Nothing ever
That was
worked out.
just last year that you got that.
It
wasn't
is true. It never worked out. I was even using a fake name. Well, anyway, as far as the worst, what would be the worst? Well, I'm sure everybody got these. Those packs of Lifesavers.
Oh, yeah.
The multi-flavored Lifesaver packs that
I'm actually kind of nostalgic for those now.
yeah, it just
But now,
wasn't one of the
yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Wasn't the ones that wasn't one of the ones that made me go yippee! It's Christmas. It was more like these again.
Bob, how about you? Favorite gift and least favorite?
Favorite one's easy. My grandmother got it for me when I was like 12. We only had one TV set in the house, and she went out. Sears had this portable TV set that was on sale for $66, which was just inside her budget at the time. There was a lot more money back then. And she went and she bought me my own portable TV for my bedroom so I could watch whatever I wanted in my room. I was in the heaven of the hog.
Oh, I
Best
bet.
present I ever got, hands down.
Yeah, for sure.
Now,
Least favorite?
Least favorite, also my grandmother. It was to her credit, it was a very nice winter jacket, but it was made from that old style military grade acetone material that felt like sandpaper and sounded like nails on a chalkboard when it rubbed together. And it was heavy and uncomfortable, and it didn't feel well. And I remember, she bought it big for me because I would grow into it. And every time my mother would try to make me wear it, if it was cold or if she was coming over to show I still had it, I would cry. I hated that. It made my skin crawl. Even if I wore like a sweatshirt under it, it made my skin crawl. Least favorite present I ever had. I remember years, like we were cleaning out the house, we were getting ready to move, and I was bringing something out to the trash, and I had finally outgrown it. It was in the dumpster, and I remember this euphoria. I hadn't worn it in years at that point, but I remember, it's gone. I'm free. I'm finally free.
Love it. Love it. How about you, Barry?
Well, it was. I know exactly the best gift I ever had. I've had gifts now for almost 57 years of Christmases growing up, and the one from being a kid will always stand out. 1977. I coveted this thing in the toy store in a glass case for a long time, and my mom knew it, so she bought it for me. It was the toy manufacturer called Dinky that made metal toys. You guys remember Dinky?
I remember
got
Dinky.
me the Starship Enterprise Dinky
I remember
toy.
that. Did it have? Is that the one with the little figures too? Did it have the little figures or
Well,
no?
it didn't have figures, but you could shoot little discs out of the saucer
Well, the
section,
disc
and then
right came out of the front of it.
shuttle came out of the bottom of it instead of the back. So yeah, it was very weird. It didn't even have a display stand. But I when I got that, I thought I had changed my pants. And I was I wasn't a baby, but it was great. I couldn't have gotten a better gift. The worst gift that I think that I would get over and over again, they seem to like to repeat it, is don't give me walnuts and pecans in my stocking. I don't want any walnuts and I don't want any pecans in my stocking as a kid. When Ralphie and his brother get the socks in a Christmas story, they go, oh, and throw them over their back, like forget this, get the toys. That's what I would do. I know it was a nice thing to do and we could eat them, but I didn't want them. So no nuts and stuff for me for Christmas.
You need socks?
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say no one said clothes. Clothes was absolutely my worst Christmas gift.
I think that's a given, though. I think that's a given. You just gotta. We're looking for stuff you really, really hate. Everybody hates clothes.
A jacket is clothes.
Yes, it is.
That is true. That is true. A jacket, though, people actually ask for those things.
Yes, they do.
But no one asks for a pair of socks. So to your later point there, Bob. So most favorite
or
for
walnuts.
Me, right? Or walnuts, right? And I'm going to add on to that, Barry, too, because most favorite for me was my Mego Batman action figure when they first came out with removable cowl. I played with that thing so darn long. So many imaginary adventures. Me and Lonely Dave Sundstrom and his Batman doll, and it was a
Mego
doll.
rule.
Let's not even call
Mego.
it an action figure. It was a doll. I love my doll. And then least favorite, adding to your walnuts, is my parents would just grab whatever the heck they could find to fill the stocking, you know, and so they would invariably put an orange in the stocking because it's bulky. It really fills it out. And Steve and
your
I,
song.
yes, Steve and I wrote a song about that called "Stupid Stocking Stuffer." I'll play it at the very, very end of this live stream tonight. So I think we've covered that. We haven't got our guest yet, but what I'll do here is let's quickly see if I can see anybody saying any favorite gifts. Here's one from Justin Aylett, channel member Justin Aylett says anything from service merchandise. I don't know what service merchandise is. Does anybody know what that is?
It's a department store at one point. Yeah.
Must have been.
Yeah.
It's whatever you get from the Romance Connection.
Regional.
Nostalgic Podblast says my ex called me Dinky. I'm not even gonna go there, but it felt like it was worth sharing. Let's see. My favorite gift, says Dolph Quick, was a bicycle. My least favorite was a G.I. Joe knockoff. Yeah, a knockoff.
No knockoffs. No knockoffs.
Yeah, those were the worst when you got the knockoff and you were supposed to be as excited as getting a big Jim or a G.I. Joe. Let's see. There were a couple of years when I got a new bicycle, says channel member Sean Innes. That's always nice. The smell of new rubber tires is still intoxicating to me. Okay. Let's see if there's another one here. Oh, John H. loved getting clothes, but I much preferred. Oh, he loves getting clothes now.
Oh,
but yeah, sure. Yeah.
Have you seen the prices lately? Me too.
All right, and let's see.
I saw the price of a Dinky Enterprise on eBay too. Wow, they went up as
How
well.
much are they now, Barry?
Oh, I saw one for like $300 or $400 in a box, and I'm like, wow.
But it was in a box, right?
It was in a box, yeah.
Yeah, that box. Channel member Keith E says 1962 best gift was a Cecil doll, which you pulled the string on of Cecil. Oh, it's a Beanie and Cecil. Yeah. Remember Beanie and Cecil? Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Great puppet.
Worst grab back gift was from Justin was Eric Clapton Unplugged. He didn't like that album. I actually liked that album. I didn't think it was horrible.
I can think of something worse. Wow.
John H. said service merchandise was based in Nashville, but went out of business years ago. Okay.
Yeah, we had them in Georgia. Yeah, we did.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, take care of some vintage sponsors, make sure that they get their products sold, even if many of them aren't even, well, we'll see how many of them are still around. And then hopefully we'll have our guest arrive. And
otherwise, I've got a number right here, Dave.
That's right. You got her number? We'll get after her later.
I've got the number, yes.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's take care of some business. And then, oh, you know what this is? This is just one commercial. I ran across this the other day. I thought I had seen all of the McDonald's commercials from the 80s. And I thought I knew which ones were my favorites. And then I saw this one. So I'm going to, I'll tell you the title of it. It's called Hard-Nosed Mrs. Hatcher. Do any of you remember this McDonald's commercial?
Doesn't ring a bell.
These little story commercials they had back in the 80s are just phenomenal. And this one's a great one. So we'll watch that commercial. We'll let the fine folks at Friendly have their 30 minutes or 30 seconds of fame. And then we'll be right back and we'll visit some more.
And now, this message.
Hard-nosed Mrs. Hatcher, tough as you can get.
Today we'll be reading chapters 3, 4.
You can never win her over.
Thanks, Judith. I'll do
Mrs. Hatcher had no pets. Forget the excuses, there's no way to reach her.
My homework flew out the bus window.
I didn't do it. Our only break was a substitute teacher.
In Mrs. Hatcher's absence, there will be no test.
When things got rock. I'll never get it. She made us stick to it.
She pushed.
I got it.
And I knew you could do it.
This is DLT, fries, and cocoa from your 3rd grade class. It's been a year since we met you. And what we wanted to say is, we'll never forget you.
The Friendly TV streaming service recently added MeTV to their channel lineup. They didn't stop there. They've also got Heroes and Icons, better known as H&I. Right now, Friendly TV has 9 channels that are dedicated to playing classic TV shows and movies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you know what? There's more on the way. The really cool thing is that between all of these channels, it's pretty darn easy to find most of the TV shows that we all loved when we were growing up. Look who's here!
Hey guys! Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
It is so good to have you. Getting a little worried.
Good to see you.
I finally get to meet her in person.
Yeah, you know, what can I say?
That's amazing. It's the best Christmas gift ever.
Well, thank
Absolutely.
you. Likewise.
This romance connection works.
Don't start.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Did you see that commercial for Romance Connection, Tracy, that we played?
I died. I was on the
I
floor.
know. Oh my goodness.
Remind me of Chuck Woolery 2 and 2.
Right. That's right. Love connection.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, BK. Nice to meet you too.
Good to see you too.
How you doing, Trace?
Hey, okay. How you doing there, Mr. Robert?
Pretty good. I'm a little frozen, but I think I'm
kind of cold.
You're lucky you have your power. I heard a lot of people your way didn't have any.
A lot of people here did lose power. I'm okay, but hey, it was bound to happen again sooner or later, huh, gang? At least it's not an embarrassing pose.
It's not bad. It's we can work with it, and you know what? It's going to become even smaller in just a couple of minutes because I can see Retro Nerd Girl waiting in the ring here, so we'll bring her on in just a minute. But first, before we do that, since we have Tracy Roth Myers all to ourselves right now, I wanted to ask you the same questions that I asked these fellers earlier, Tracy, which is, could we start with, would you share a holiday memory that you have with us?
Okay, well, I grew up in the greater Chicago area, the north side to be exact. And I remember going to my Aunt Betty's house, and she would make so many potato latkes for Hanukkah, or potato pancakes, that she could fill up 2 bathtubs with them. I mean, seriously. Wow. What it is, it's almost like a hash brown sort of, but it's like compacted round, and you put like applesauce, or you could put like sour cream on it.
Sour cream, yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on what you like on it. And long story short is the house would smell like a fry kitchen. And she had 2, and the weird thing is, you know, well, it's not weird according to faith, but I don't subscribe necessarily. I'm what they call a non-kosher Jew. I mean, like I eat lobster and ham, just like anybody else. But long story short is she had 2 kitchens because she kept kosher. And now with 2 kitchens you have to have like a refrigerator for your meat, and then another refrigerator for like your milks and all your dairy and all that. So all I know is she was cooking out of one kitchen, running downstairs in her basement in Chicago, running back upstairs and making more because she had 2 different stoves. So she had 2 stoves going. I'm like, who are you making this for? The 7th Regiment? You know? Anyhow, it was great. And I grew up with my cousin Adam, which was her son. And he was kind of like a little brother to me in a way, more than he was a cousin. Long story short is we used to play dreidel, and it got to be a point where we got a little older. We used to play it for like chocolate coins. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. Well, we decided in our teen years to start playing for real money. I got so upset by that. She's like, this is not the way the game's played. Yeah, because there's like sections where you take coins and you give coins back. You know, we started taking out the dollar bills and stuff. Oh, we were horrible kids. We like to gamble.
You sound like kids. That's just what kids would do. That
I
makes
agree.
total sense. Sounds like it was a delightful place to hang out and have some really yummy food.
To be honest with you, my aunt was the best kosher cook this side of America. She really was. She could. I mean, you ask her to cook anything, and she would do it. Blintzes. She would cook them. She would cook all sorts of stuff. Noodle kugel. She would actually do her own corned beef and her own like matzo ball soup and gefilte fish and all the rest of that. She used to do that herself.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the one you mentioned? Noodle what?
Noodle kugel. There's the
I don't even know what
kugel.
that is, but it
There's
sounds
like
great.
it's like almost like a bread pudding, except you make it with noodles. And you could do a sweet one where you could add apricots and raisins to it, or you could do one with meat. And it was mostly noodles, and she cooked them, and they would come out like little square chunks. You just put them on your plate. I didn't have them that big, but I mean, I'm just saying, just to have something as a side dish to whatever main dish she made.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so that's what we used to do. And go ahead.
Go ahead, Tracy.
No, you're fine.
Well, I was gonna say, I know so very little about actually the Hanukkah holiday. Only the stuff that Adam Sandler has really taught me. But 8 Crazy Nights and the Goldbergs on TV. A little bit about Hanukkah as well. But I know there was a lot of gifting that went on.
7 days.
Yes. So you had to have a
8
favorite
days,
gift and a least favorite gift. I'd love to know what those are.
Okay. Well, this was a gift actually from my mom and my dad, because there's only me. I grew up as an only. So I kind of understand what BK was saying earlier. I think the worst gift I ever got, and in Hanukkah, you usually get like the really junky gifts, and they lead up to the better gifts towards like the end. So your parents would give you something really, really junky, like a cheap like knockoff toy or a jump rope or something like that on day one. But the worst gift I ever got from her, and I think was in my early 20s, she gave me, I don't know what got into her, 6 boxes of socks, like big boxes, like from like a department store, like Marshall Fields or someplace like that. And she loaded them all up with socks. They're brand new socks. I mean, I can't complain, but I mean, after the 6th box of socks, I was like, what is this?
It was a big sell. It was a very big sell.
It's another sock.
Yeah. I mean, and she gave me some goofy ones, stuff with like little, and they were all holiday themed. They weren't just Hanukkah. There were some Christmas ones with little reindeers with their eyes bulging, or the teenage, kind of reminded me of those paintings with the big eye teenagers. I mean, God, it was horrible. And that was the worst one. I was like, why?
Sounds like she liked to suck it to you, Tracy.
Yeah. All right. I got stuck.
Me that much.
What about a favorite gift, though?
My favorite gift actually was probably back in '79. Growing up as an only kid, when those kind of electronic games came in, it was like, the angels started singing, and you saw like little beautiful rainbows and unicorns and leprechauns dancing and whatnot. And I wanted a Simon game so bad.
Oh yeah.
And so the thing is like Simon was sold out, and I think I was maybe about 12 or 13 at this point. And but my mom actually found what they used to call a Simon Jr., which was a smaller Simon. It still had all the functionality of a big one, but it was a smaller one. And I thought that was just the coolest thing ever.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm done.
I was just going to interject. Speaking of knockoffs, I got a Simon knockoff, a Sears electronics handheld version that was clearly, it was not as good.
It was called Steven.
Theodore.
That's better than the Radio Shack one. I had one of those cheapy ones for a while too. I mean, the Radio Shack used to have like candy games And so that was like one of the candy games that they used to sell.
That's
you
right.
know.
Yeah. Well, hey, let me just, we've had a couple of channel member milestone messages that I've missed. I want to make sure that I acknowledge them. Tug, who has been a member of the channel for 3 months, says, warm greetings and happy holidays to Tracy. So there you go, Tracy. You get your own special message from
Back at you,
Tug.
Eric. You have a good holiday too with your friends and family and whatnot. Everybody here have a good time. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And channel member Sean Innes, who has been a member now for an entire year, just had to copy Tug. So I'm sure he's wishing you warm holiday greetings as well, Tracy.
Well, thank you.
And with that, like I said, we've got another person waiting in the wings that we've talked about and that we're excited to have on. So let me bring her on board as well. Retro Nerd
All
Girl.
right.
I'm waving frantically. You can't tell, but I'm waving frantically.
I'll do it for you. I got you, Thrash.
Jazz hands.
Thrash is a ventriloquist.
RNG, you are my girl. You are my girl.
Oh, I love you guys so much.
She is definitely a favorite. I've got the same questions to ask you in just a second, RNG, but we've got a lot of channel members that are now popping in with their milestone messages. Angela McArdle, who's been a channel member for 8 months, says happy holidays and wishing for a white Christmas this year. And channel member Dave Kerbo, who's been a member for 9 months, says Merry Christmas, everyone. So thanks to all those channel members. So much fun. I love that feature that YouTube has implemented. It is so cool to see those milestone messages and to really just kind of acknowledge and thank people for their membership over, these folks have been members for a long time now, and it's very cool. RNG, one of our favorite, or at least one of my personal favorite channels to watch. I see you have a Muppet video up that I haven't watched yet. I can't wait to go back and watch it.
Oh gosh.
Holiday memories. What do you got for us tonight?
Okay, holiday. It's really kind of. I'll just give you a background. I didn't grow up with the holidays so much because in my household, my mom used to just go to different faiths every once in a while. So there were times when she didn't want to celebrate Christmas, or and then we would like sort of kind of celebrate, but not really. So it's really kind of touch and go. One thing in that I think was a constant was that every Christmas or Thanksgiving kind of switched up. My brother, we are half siblings. So his grandmother and her side of the family used to host us for Christmas or Thanksgiving. And it was really nice because, it wasn't necessarily like my side of, or my dad's side of the family, because I was kind of like disconnected from them. And it was my mom's side because she was also disconnected from her side of the family. So it was kind of nice being able to go to my brother's side of the family and how welcoming they were. They were always so super sweet, always super kind. And sometimes, they would try to get like gifts for me when I was really little. And it was just the memory of going over to this family that I'm not really related to, but how kind they were. And that's really like like an overarching memory that I have of Christmas.
Nice.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that.
that is pretty
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, given what you just shared,
Mhm.
I want to tread carefully with the next question. But do you have like a favorite gift, or at least favorite gift you maybe got over the years?
Well, yeah, it's really weird. My favorite gift is so strange. It was a $25 Starbucks card
I'll take it.
I like those.
I love that.
It's been really well. Yes.
Yeah, it was earlier. I would think it was like in the early aughts, and they the way they packaged those was that it was in a little folder, a little like fabric case, and I still use that fabric case to this day for my credit
Sounds
cards and
beautiful.
stuff. Yeah, it's a little ripped and torn, but it's been with me all these years, so
Wow.
it's kind of a cute little, a cute little thing.
Yeah.
That was my favorite gift because I still remember and still have it.
It's interesting, like, you think about what the favorite gifts are, and it's almost, if you go, everyone has shared a gift that really wasn't huge in terms of like the size of the gift or anything like that. But rather it's just a memorable gift, right? Something that, whether it's a little Starship Enterprise or a Batman action figure, it's just it's weird the things that stick with us and that are truly the most memorable.
Now it's
Barry,
now it's an action figure.
Yeah.
is that the one, Barry?
This is it. Here it is.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Awesome.
That is very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
It's in the garage.
You threw it in the garage. That thing, it's worth $300. You threw it in the garage.
Oh, it's worth a lot more than that to me.
I'm sure.
Harry doesn't
I'm
throw
sure.
anything away.
No, I don't care anyway.
Well, as long as I've got all of you guys here together, and we love the world of entertainment, and whether it's movies or TV shows, I would love to just go around the horn and have everybody share a favorite, whether it's a movie or a television special or something that they enjoy watching at this time of year. So we will start with the guy who hasn't moved for going on 15 minutes now.
Bob, hold that pose.
Yeah, hold the pose, Bob.
Buffalo stance.
Do you have a favorite movie or a TV show that you watch every year?
Funny you mentioned that. In fact, I usually get like, how should I put it? I get to the point where I can't wait, so I start watching it in October, which is funny because it actually works great as a Halloween movie as well. It's my favorite Christmas movie, partly because I love defending the fact that, in my opinion, it is a Christmas movie. It's going to be post-apocalyptic film Night of the Comet. And yes, it is a Christmas movie. Yes.
Nice choice.
Thank you. Excellent choice. I kind of knew which one you were going to pick, Bob. That's why I started with you. Do we have any volunteers for someone to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next.
All right.
There's a cute it's a cute Christmas movie that you just can't find anywhere, and it's called The Christmas List. I don't know. It stars Mimi Rogers.
Okay.
And I have to watch it every single year to start off the Christmas holidays, which I confess I start that in like February. But it's like I have to watch it multiple times per year. It's my favorite Christmas movie. I do love it quite a lot. And it's actually on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you own it or do you just watch it on YouTube?
I watch it on YouTube, but if I could own it, I can't find it anywhere. And I think there is one outlet that I can get it from, but it's kind of shady.
It's probably the YouTube video just downloaded and burned on.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. You're probably right.
I got the phone number for that place right here.
I have not seen that one, but I do love me. Is it a kind of a romantic comedy or what kind of movie is
romantic. This? Okay, it's about a young lady who works at a department store. Mm-hmm. And she is an expert at perfume smelling, and she knows like all the different perfumes. She can match your perfume for you. So if you come in, I'm looking for a perfume for my wife, and and she asks you a whole bunch of questions about like, well, what's her favorite flower? Who's her favorite beetle, or something like that. And she, by learning all these, the answers, she can tell you what your wife's favorite perfume is, or what
Wow.
perfume would match your wife. And so it's kind of nice. She's got that skill. And then there's her personal life isn't so great, and as most of these Christmas movies would probably do, have. But a young boy comes into the store and asks to get some perfume for his mom. And at the same time, there's a stakes, a sweepstakes that's going around. And so he enters the young lady's name into the sweepstakes because she was so nice to him at the counter. And so they actually win, and they win a car. And that car needs to be shared between the two of them. And therefore all of the shenanigans begins, because of course the young boy has a father who is single, conveniently.
Love it. Okay, I'm going to track that down and watch that. I haven't watched enough Christmas romantic comedies this year. Usually
I know a lot
I
of them.
try to watch at least a half dozen or so during the month. And I
Goodness,
have
yeah.
not. Christmas
Yeah.
list, definitely a must watch. Tracy, how about you?
I have two of them actually.
Okay.
For the serious movie, and I like a lot of old vintage movies, especially black and white ones. So my favorite holiday movie, the serious one, is Holiday Inn. And then the one I always have to see for Christmas besides Peanuts is the Flintstones Christmas.
Wow.
I've never seen that one.
It's something I remember from being a kid watching, and it's just very nostalgic for me.
Love it. Love it.
Oh
I think Holiday Inn's on TCM tonight or tomorrow.
Wow.
I do have one pedantic question, which has always plagued me, and Tracy, perhaps you could shed some light on it. They established that the Flintstone takes place in 1 million BC.
Yeah, okay.
So did they ever establish how they can do a precognitive Christmas?
Well, if it's that far back, it was even before, gosh, for me saying that Jesus Christ was born.
Well,
exactly.
That's one of Gilligan's Island questions we should ask.
Exactly. Which came first, the skipper or the chicken? Just kidding.
The skipper.
Of course, the skipper.
I mean,
it's one of those, Robert, if I had the answer, I would tell you.
I'm sorry. I'm just playing devil's advocate, as if it were.
If you were moving, Bob, she'd have an answer for you. But...
Well, exactly. I conjure one for you.
How about you, Barry?
Well, it's changed over the years when I was a kid. And by the way, romantic holiday comedies, I don't have to watch those. I live them every
Oh.
Come on. Mrs. PK, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. But
as long as you acknowledge that there's comedy involved.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's funny. When I was a kid, I couldn't miss Rudolph or Frosty the Snowman. That's the two. Of course. As a kid, if I missed them, I didn't miss them. There was never a time that I'd missed them. But as I got older, I really started to love, as far as TV goes, the Waltons pilot called The Homecoming. The Waltons TV series had a pilot that was called The Homecoming, and it was a great story. My grandparents grew up in that era, and they had a lot of stories to tell about how bad it was, and missing people and getting by with what they had. And there was a lot of that with us growing up. My mom was a single parent, so we didn't get everything we wanted for Christmas. So we were appreciative of, except for walnuts and pecans. I didn't want any of that. But that was great. But my favorite thing I want to watch every year now is there's so many different versions of A Christmas Carol. You got the Henry Winkler American one. You got the old 50s one, the Alistair Scrim in his name, Alistair Scrim. You've got Patrick Stewart made a Christmas Carol. There's so many versions of it, but the one that I remember the most, CBS aired in 1984, and my favorite version of a Christmas Carol that I watch every year is with George C. Scott. And it's the best. It's my favorite version of the Christmas Carol. It's the most fantastically intense special effects in it of the time. It's so laid back shot, but so straightforward that it's the best version of it. And the message of a Christmas Carol is timeless. Dickens wrote. So that's the one that I watch every year,
Nice.
without fail.
Nice. Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Great
The
version.
one I watch is the Alistair Sim one from 47.
That's the one I grew up with. Yeah.
That one's kind of intense. I think it's, like I said, it's those black and white movies that get you like that.
Very much.
There's a real dark one if you ever catch it with Guy Pearce that they made just a couple of years ago at Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Scrooge is this sadistic character. He's very Scrooge-like, only rated R, and it's very well done. But it's not one for the kids and one for the holidays. So pretty intense.
Mr. McCormack, you're up.
Oh, last but not least, or maybe least.
Not last.
Never.
Neither last nor least, because I haven't gone. So you're up,
that's
my
right.
friend.
That's right. Sorry, Dave. It's. I think the Scrooge films are great because the story is so great. The variations on them bother me because they really sometimes just take total liberty with what's happening in the story that isn't actually part of the story. So, and I like that sometimes, but I mean, really, for me, It's a Wonderful Life is the quintessential Christmas movie. And I got to watch it every year because my daughter likes it. And she doesn't like anything gray, as she calls it. Why do you like those gray shows? I said, well, because they're only the best stuff that ever, anyway. And then, of course, there's Ron Howard doing the Grinch, man. He hit it out of the park.
Wow.
I mean, you could say Elf is just as good, but it's just maybe just as good, but extremely different. And I thought the Grinch was magic. What he did. And of course, my kids were that age where, it was all magical to them. So I was able to get right into that magic with them. And then, of course, the music becomes a part of it. And, oh, man, the memories that I have of that movie and how my kids would react made it my favorite. I think that's it. Yeah. So there you go.
Love it. You mentioned Elf, so I'm going to bring Elf up. That it isn't my favorite, but it's my boys' favorites, which means that we've watched it every single year for the past 15 years. And then my favorite is A Charlie Brown Christmas. I love Charlie Brown Christmas. I'm a Charlie Brown kind of guy, so we have similar hairdos, me and Charlie. So here's what I'd love to do. I'm gonna do some more commercials, and then while we do the commercials, I'm going to see if we can do this thing where we give away free channel memberships.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll give it a try. YouTube says it does work, so we'll try it. And if it does, it does. If it doesn't, we'll try again another day. But I'd love for you guys to hang out as long as you can with me. I anticipate that we'll stay on for but maybe another half hour. And we'll just answer questions and talk with the community.
Sure.
If that's okay. If anybody has to drop, feel free to drop. But I'm going to go ahead and fire up that commercial and see if I can't give away some channel memberships. So we will be right back, folks.
After these messages.
Yes.
And now, this message.
The night before Christmas, an Oreo cookie's waiting for a special guest.
I'll just take a little rest.
Ho, 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 who's that kid with the Oreo cookies? Eating all the luscious chocolate, licking all the creamy middles, dunking all the crunchy cookies like he did when he was little. It's so hard to hide the kid inside with Christmas and O-R-E-O. Bisco.
own dog biscuits, dog treats, and flavor snacks. Merry Christmas, pal.
Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Sponsored by McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
One cold winter's eve, Bertie and Grimace wandered McDonald land in search of
A gift for Ronald.
Got any bright ideas? When lo and behold, a little star hopped from the heavens and twinkled down to earth.
Look, Grimace, a falling star.
Maybe we can catch it. And so they did.
You'll make the perfect gift for Ronald.
The little star was wrapped and ribboned and given, but
Oh, dear me.
twinkle, it didn't.
You see, Bertie and Grimace, a star can never belong just to me. It belongs way up high for everyone to see. So let's wish him home where it'll twinkle and glow.
And so they did as they stood in the snow.
Look, the star's back at home in the sky. Good as new. And I have the best gift of all. Friends like you.
Happy holidays from McDonald's.
'Twas a nightmare before Christmas.
We've been robbed!
That placed quite a high price
Only $39.95.
on holiday cheer
Ho, ho, ho.
for Kate and Alan. Then,
You dreaming of a white Christmas? No, not really.
can Frank's Place get into the spirit?
I'm Santa Claus.
Monday starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Sponsored by your local 7-Up bottlers, who wish you season's greetings.
Clear, crisp, and bright. 7-Up has the feeling of Christmas. Again, for a limited time this year, you'll find a very special countdown to Christmas poster. And it's yours free just for buying 7-Up and Cherry 7-Up. What a great way to share in the feeling of Christmas. It's the perfect time to stock up on 7-Up's clear, crisp, clean refreshment. And kids get to build Santa's beard as they count off the days to Christmas. Get your free countdown to Christmas poster when you buy 7-Up and Cherry 7-Up. 7-Up has the feeling of Christmas.
The fur's gonna fly on a Garfield Christmas special. And join the California Raisins for a Claymation Christmas celebration. All Monday starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
On the first day of Christmas, my mommy gave to me 24 Crayola crayons. So big Crayola crayons. Box of 64s. 'Cause I get all my Crayola crayons.
Sunday, sworn enemies thrown together. 2 brothers and 1 woman in a cross-country race to save a town in trouble. But will they get there in time to make a very special delivery?
We got a lady on board, and she is in labor.
My stars and garters.
John Schneider and Tom Wolpat. Christmas comes to Willow Creek Sunday.
All right, we're back, and it worked. So let's see what we got here. I was able to give away 5 memberships. Cindy D was gifted a membership. Congratulations, Cindy D. And by the way, Cindy, you are correct. I saw earlier in the chat when there were some questions about how I selected these illustrious people to join me for the live stream tonight. They are all YouTube creators, correct. And they are all some of my favorite YouTube creators. Laura Smith, congratulations to you. TF, congratulations. Appalachian Granny, congratulations. And KY Blue. So awesome to have 5 new channel members just like that.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
I'm waving my hands frantically.
I'll do it for you. I'm doing it for you.
I see it. I see it.
So we have, like I said, I figure maybe another half hour just hanging out with the gang, but I'm going to throw on some comments here and we can respond to them. And if anybody has questions, let me see. Did I miss a super chat? I did. Let's get that one. Let's talk about this. Albert Nada Retro dropped a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for your support, Albert. Really appreciate it. It says the only mandatory Christmas movie is A Christmas Story.
Nice.
However, those old stop motion
I'll
movies
agree with
are
that.
a nice tradition too.
Of course.
Here's to physical media. You know what, Albert? I completely agree. This whole physical media thing, at one point I was starting to give away my DVDs, and I'm not anymore, because what's happening is these streaming services where I once thought everything was going to stay forever, they're taking stuff off, and some of it's just disappearing. You can't find it anywhere. And so I agree with you completely on the physical media thing. And I do love A Christmas Story. I must say, there's moments in that movie I love an awful lot. As a whole, it's not probably my favorite of all the movies, but it certainly is a good one.
You're gonna shoot your eye out. You're gonna shoot your eye out with that thing.
What was that?
You're gonna shoot your eye out with that.
Yeah, exactly. There's those moments in the movie that are just so funny. You know, Darren McGavin.
I did once. I did.
You shot an eye out?
Only it was my nose.
Oh.
Yeah, it ricocheted right up my nose. One of my BB guns.
Oh.
Did. When I first got it. Yep.
Ricochet rabbit.
Weirdest thing that ever happened to me.
And they
Second weirdest thing.
And ever since, he's had a voice for radio unlike any other.
It's still in there.
The triple dog daring and the tongue stuck to the fire or the flagpole, and there are just so many wonderful little moments in that. You know, the movie as a whole, like I said, there's these moments, but the author, I've read some other short stories by Gene Shepard, and he's just great. He's absolutely great.
He is a good writer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Let's see. Music Girl 67 says, "Can you believe I've never seen It Happened on Fifth Avenue?" I do.
Yeah,
love
I
those
haven't
White
either.
Christmas and Holiday Inn. I haven't either. Has anybody seen It Happened on Fifth Avenue?
It's on TCM tonight too.
I'm racking my brains.
I just learned about it last night as I was putting together my list of movies, and I was like, "Oh, I've got to see this one."
I've seen the other two. But
Yeah,
not
I've
that
seen
one.
those.
I've never seen it happen.
Me either. But it's ironic that we're mentioning these, and you know, I'm a big TCM. I'm getting even more into it now because I'm trying to get in touch with Ben Mankiewicz. And I mean, the stuff they have is just so amazing.
He's amazing.
Yes.
And these films that we're talking about, I swear, I don't know for sure, but it looked like they were on the roster for today and tomorrow.
Wow.
Both this and Holiday Inn.
He really knows his stuff too. Ben Mankiewicz, he really knows his stuff.
I love that. I love how he introduces his shows.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah, me too.
Rosemary Magrino says, "Charlie Brown Christmas, Rudolph. Favorite movies are It's a Wonderful Life and A Christmas Story."
I agree with every one of those.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great group.
Let's see. Lots of folks congratulating those people that are new channel members. Let's see. Oh, I can't do it. Keithy is challenging me to do your chat marathons there, RNG. Not going to happen. No,
I think we could do it.
Retro Nerd Girl, I have to tell you. So I've shared this on other live streams, but when you first started streaming and doing your live streams, I was so excited that you were doing those. And I was traveling. This was in January of this year. And I was traveling. I was helping my oldest son move up to Seattle. And I remember arriving late for a live stream. It had already been going for like an hour and a half or something. And I got on, and you were doing your very best to just read everybody's comments in the stream. And seriously, I fell asleep waiting for you to read my comment. And then, but here's the deal. I woke up like 4 hours later, and you were still hard at it.
Wow.
I could not believe you were still going. It was at that point I developed a whole new level of respect for you.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, thank you. You guys are so sweet.
And that's all
Thank
watch
you.
time too. That counts.
that's
I
why
think
you're my
that
bro.
might have ran 6 or 7 hours. It was a long one.
Oh, yeah. I
Let's
had so much
see.
fun that day.
Yeah, it was
OMG.
a great one. You had so much engagement too. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see what we got
RNG, I
here.
want to grow up to be just like you.
You're so
Me too.
What's that like? What is it like to have engagement?
How about this? Cindy D, channel member Cindy D, new channel member Cindy D, I should add, says she liked The Preacher's Wife with Whitney Houston. Do any of you remember that one with The Equalizer as well?
Denzel Washington, right?
Denzel was in that, yeah.
No.
I've never seen The Preacher's Wife or
Wasn't it called The Bishop's Wife, or did they change
the
the name?
the original
was The Bishop's
I
Wife.
think it was The Preacher.
Yeah, yeah. And When Harry Met Sally, because of the 2 holiday scenes. Well, yeah, that's a great movie.
I'll have what she's having.
We can always call that phone line up.
Yes. I actually did while we were on a commercial break there. Busy signal.
Let's see what else we've got. Oh, Nostalgic Pod Blast points out that Thrash is still frozen. Yes, he remains
Frozen Thrash.
as if he were frozen in carbonite, is the way I like to say it.
He'll never age.
I got that.
Let's see what else we've got.
Anymore.
Any other holiday memories? Oh, let's see. Well, Gary Carpenter's seen that trailer that I played during the commercials with John Schneider and Tom Wopat, Christmas at Willow Creek.
I got a woman in labor here.
Yeah. I want to
In the
watch
back of
that.
the truck.
I bet you that's on YouTube. I need to track that one down.
Hey, Dave, did you see Tom Wopat and John Schneider's kind of a little cameo thing they did in Smallville together?
Yes.
That was
did.
really cool. They were getting into the car through the window. That was great.
Yeah, that I love John Schneider on Smallville, and the fact that they were able to get Tom Wopat and work him into it was magical.
It was great.
Absolutely. Let's see. What else do we got here? David C. points out that Melinda Dillon, who played the mom in A Christmas Story, passed away not too long ago, and they had to replace her in that sequel that they did for HBO Max. They had
Julie Haggerty. Yeah.
Julie Haggerty, right, play the mom instead, which was, let's see. Blotchy Bear says, well, A Christmas Story is a classic. The surviving cast members appeared somewhere in Indy this past weekend signing autographs. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That is neat.
And Deborah Battle points out another one of my favorites, which is A Miracle on 34th Street. I love the original with Natalie Wood, but I will take the quite frankly, even the version with David Hartman. I think there was a David Hartman version in the 70s. I'll take any of them. I just love that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
Davey
story.
showed us that last year.
Yeah, we watched the version that has fallen out into the public domain. There's a TV version from the 50s that's fallen into the public domain that you can actually stream without any sort of YouTube-y terrible repercussions. Let's see. John H. says Frosty made him cry when he was a kid. What's up with that? Always trying to kill Frosty by stealing his hat. That's the worst.
Or turning
Karen. Oh, Karen.
Sick.
Poor Karen.
420 tears up as well. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Do we have some other? There's a long conversation going on between some of the folks about MeTV censoring various television shows. I don't know if it's so much censoring as MeTV just has to find room for more commercials. So they tend
a little from column A, a little from column B.
Yeah, they tend to cut those things up. And another argument for physical media. If you love something, as I do, someone mentioned earlier that it was Emily, channel member Emily Miller mentioned that she was surprised I hadn't talked about the Andy Griffith Christmas episode in season 1 yet. Another one of my favorite things that I always watch during the holiday season. But I don't watch the MeTV version or any of those. I pull out the DVD and watch the commercial-free version that has not been cut up by the broadcasters. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, here we go. John H says, I like this. Speaking of Miracle on 34th Street, I like the 1973 version with David Hartman and Sebastian Cabot.
You know, I
That's
think
when you find out that the
I may
North
have seen
Pole
that one
is the other
first.
place.
I may have seen that one first before the classic one growing up because I was really young in the early 70s. I may have.
I think I may have as well, Barry. I think that might have been my first one. Was that one? Does anybody? No one's mentioned it here, but does anybody remember the Marlo Thomas remake of "It's a Wonderful Life"?
With Wayne Rogers.
I think so.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, I think that's on YouTube. I think you can track that one down. I mean,
it's
like,
not as bad as people make it out to be.
Why? It's not horrible, but why when you have the original?
Exactly.
Let's see. Nostalgic Podblast says that Patrick Stewart as Scrooge was amazing.
Yes, he was.
He's amazing in everything he does, I think. David C. talks about the Happy Days episodes, which were on MeTV this weekend. They had I think at least 3 episodes, Christmas episodes from Happy Days on this weekend. So those were fun. Especially, what do we got there? Oh, yes. We'll talk about in just a minute. We're going to talk about what you guys have been doing, and you've definitely got to talk about that, Pat.
Boy, do I.
Oh, yes. It was Music Girl 67 that asked about the Andy Griffith show. Why I hadn't mentioned that one. Yes, Ms. Elizabeth, you are correct. You know what? There's a handful of things I watch every year. I was trying to kind of go with the ones that I watched the very most, but that Andy Griffith episode, A Christmas Story in season 1 is that probably, I can't think of a year I haven't watched that one as well. So good point. Let's see. John H says he's seen watched the Marlo Thomas version before the original. Wow. Let's see what else we got here. Yes, for years, Patrick Stewart did a one-man stage production of A Christmas Carol.
Oh.
And we're talking about Doctor Who down here, so that's Disney's. The Doctor's coming back, right? There's a new version of the Doctor on its way. You know what? I don't even know why I put this on the screen because this is heresy, but I like John H. He says good things most of the time. I'm not going to criticize what's being said here other than to say I absolutely do not agree that the angry Andy episodes are better than the kind Andy episodes.
Fighting words.
All right, folks. It has been exactly an hour and a half. Oh, Gary Carpenter says not to forget the original Grinch, which, the Ron Howard version is great. I do agree that that's a fine movie. But the Boris Karloff narrated version with Tony the Tiger singing You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch is pretty darn phenomenal as well.
And
Chuck
it's
Jones,
not
right?
stupid.
Thurl Ravencroft was the gentleman's name.
Is that his name?
Thurl Ravencroft played Tony the Tiger. Yes.
Tony the Tiger. Yep.
Yes.
Just Tony. Hey, I'd love to talk a little, or have you guys actually talk a little bit about your channels, and we'll go ladies first. So let's start with Tracy. Tracy's channel is probably the youngest channel of the bunch. Hang on one second, Tracy. I think I got an image here. You want to talk a little bit about what you've been doing on your channel and where you see it going in the future?
Well, what I've been doing is just doing these impromptu lives, whether they were a half hour, whatever. Long story short is I think I'm going to do a live on Christmas Day for those, who don't have very much family or whatever, because like in my house, it's just me and my husband and our 2 small dogs. So it's kind of nice to, have a live where people could come and say hi and whatever, and they don't have to feel like they're all alone. But the premise of my channel is to talk about old Hollywood, and I'm talking about like 20s, 30s, like Clara Bow and, Peg Entwistle and all those fine actors from the day. I'm working on one about Pick Fair, and I still don't have all that together, but I'd like to create some shorts about it because it no longer exists, but it is a haunting tale. and it's real great.
Beautiful.
Love it. Love it. And, it's one of the things where I love to see what you're doing and all the different things you're trying out, because when a channel is as young as yours is, Tracy, it's all about experimenting and kind of seeing how people respond to the different things you do. So keep at it. And, I know that this community is very supportive of your efforts. Retro Nerd Girl, I mentioned that I saw the Muppet Christmas Carol there. I haven't watched it yet. 4 days ago, and I still haven't watched it. What's up with that? Talk to me about your channel.
Okay. Well, I started out reviewing lots of retro movies that I loved, and I pretty much stick to movies that I love, 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 and I do very deep dives on all of those movies. Then I went into the foray of doing live streams. So I do live streams 3 times a week. Do a modern take mornings on Wednesdays. Thursdays I do. Oh, sorry, Fridays I do a retro discussion of some sort. We went really deep into feel good movies there for a while, and then I do watch parties on Saturday to end the week. That particular video about the Muppets was actually one that I had for my members. First impressions I've been doing every Monday for members, and one of my members said, "You need to share this with everybody." And so I decided to do that. I think he's in the chat. Keithy mentioned it to me, and it's just like a another thing, and I'm just enjoying myself, creating different bits of content, and I've really I think I'm finding a groove. I think I'm finding a groove.
I would definitely say you're finding a groove.
You found several grooves.
It is a
what's that like?
pleasure to visit. And,
thank you, guys. Thank
it's
you
like
so
you
much.
go there, it's like slipping on a comfy old pair of jeans and just settling on in. Very nice.
Thank you.
Bob?
Thanks so much.
Bob, you have been doing, and I won't lie, I have just been fixated on your videos lately, mainly because we're watching the same dang show. You want to talk about your channel and what you're talking about lately?
I would love to. Well, it's a nostalgia channel, and I started out talking about sci-fi and horror, vintage preferred, and I still do. And I still get a lot of mileage out of my top 10 dad jokes. I love doing those. But I have discovered I've been a long-time fan of the TV series Fargo. And I have recently started watching season 5, which just came out, and I have absolutely fallen in love with it. Season 5, in my humble opinion, is the best season they've had so far. And so I've been doing. I actually started late, so I had to kind of catch up really quickly. But I've managed to catch up. I managed to do 5 in the week it was in. I'm going to do 6 this week, and I plan on doing retrospects on each episode on a weekly basis until the season concludes. And then, what the heck? I'm going to go back and do seasons 1 through 4 just because I'm having so much fun doing these Fargo retrospects.
So good.
So good. And that cast in
Mhm.
season 5,
It's amazing.
Jennifer Jason Leigh, Juno Temple, who is so good as Dot in this this season. And what's the Ham? John
Hamm.
Oh my goodness.
As the constitutional sheriff, he is terrifying. He's just amazing.
And the guy that plays Gators, the guy that's Steve on Stranger Things, I can't remember his name right now, the actor, but he's as a doofus, he's pretty darn good too.
Yes, and of course, Dave Foley is Danish Graves.
Oh yes,
Wow.
Dave is straight roll.
How can I forget Dave Foley?
Kids in the Hall, Dave Foley.
Kids in the Hall, Dave Foley.
Oh no way.
Yes.
Cool.
And
He plays a very dry lawyer.
His character's named after a pastry. You can't beat that right there. Danish Graves. Love it. You know, the cool thing about Fargo is it's an anthology series, really. Every season is a different story, but it all has the similar feel to the Fargo movie. It's in that, you know, the setting, of course, it's in that general vicinity geographically, but it just feels like it could be in the same world as that Fargo movie. And
The
it
same
is
universe.
They're so good. They're so good. Well done. And loving those videos, Bob. BK, Tell us a little bit about your channel and what you're up to. Plus, you're a man of many different talents, so you can talk beyond the channel because you're the guy with the golden voice.
Well, I've had such a good time tonight. Thanks, Dave, for bringing me back for the RetroPALooza. Yeah, I've been doing radio, since I was in high school, somewhere on the air somewhere. And I'm on every Saturday morning live on WBHF radio. We're up suburb just north of Atlanta. I think between all of us here, we got all the time zones in America covered here, wherever we are. And if I tell people ask who I am, I'm like, well, I was born in the 60s. I grew up in the 70s, and I graduated high school in the early 80s. That's my era of peoples. That's who I am. It's who I represent. Topps trading cards, 10 lunch boxes, Schoolhouse Rock. You like that kind of stuff? You should listen to me live 10 a.m. till noon on WBHF Radio. I stream it on the website, WBHFradio.org, and on the TuneIn app. When I'm on, you can hear me on TuneIn and Radio Garden. But if you miss all of it, if you don't get to hear my show, I take all the local commercials out and repackage it and put retro commercials and little bits here and there of comedy, and I mess around with things and a little George Lucas CGI special edition it up a little bit, and then put it out as a podcast. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm on SoundCloud, and I'm on Spotify. So that's the three places you can find BK on there, the BK Escape Pod podcast. And I appreciate it. Thank you. This man over here, the Golden Rage of TV, Pat McCormick, he appears on my show every Saturday with a segment. I want to thank him for being my partner in that and on every Saturday for me. I want to thank the guy below me for coming on live this past Saturday to be my guest and talk about tonight. We
so
talked
much
about
fun.
Live and had a good time. And the man way over there past Pat, Dave, he forwards my stuff and comments on it. We've had this retro pal relationship for a long time now. And I'm looking for a lot of that great fun to come in the future. And ladies, I'm so glad they were both Tracy and Retro Nerd Girl joined us tonight. And it's finally nice to, not in person, but we're virtually in person to meet each other here on our Brady Bunch squares that I like to call it. We're all the Brady Bunch here in the some of them. We're missing three, but yeah. But I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to the next RetroPALooza whenever we decide to do it, guys. I'm ready. Thank you.
As are we all.
So here's the deal. Here's the challenge that I have for everybody out there, the 50 people that are still hanging out, listening to us, watching us right now. The podcast version that Barry posts to YouTube is perfect. If you have I find when I have a chore that I need to do, something that I really don't want to do, but I've been given a task to rake leaves, whatever, that kind of stuff. That is the perfect time to fire up Barry's BK on the Air, his special edition version with all the retro commercials and his wingman, Alan. You can't forget Alan. He's great too.
Well, we try to forget Alan, but it's hard.
But folks,
I'm kidding.
More folks need to listen to that. So that's my holiday challenge to you guys to check out Barry's podcast over on his YouTube channel. It's phenomenal. And with that said,
thank you, everybody.
Yeah, Pat, you have it. I don't know how you keep doing it. Well, I kind of do.
Me either.
But I don't know how you keep scoring these interviews. You want to talk about your last handful of interviews, and particularly the last one's amazing. Just so very cool.
Well, let me start by echoing what Barry said about having the ladies with us tonight. You guys are awesome. You guys know, I know you guys. I'm hoping you guys know that I think that, or that I believe that, because I've seen all your stuff, Retro Girl, and I mean, it's awesome. And Tracy, you've just been there for me for so long and so supportive, and I appreciate you. I can't even find the words. So.
I like you guys. What can I say? You're talking my kind of language here.
Well, and so what the heck am I doing? I brought this with me just because if you've heard my last interview with Anson Williams, it was about how I had read Ron Howard's book and I had read Marion Ross's book, but not his book. And he rakes me over the coals basically through the entire interview for this. And so I had to prove to him that I bought the book. And so I got the book. Now I just got to take a picture of me reading it, and then I don't even have to read it. But
Did you needle him to sign it for you?
Oh, I wish these were in person, but they're phone-ins, and
Okay.
the hits just keep coming. I don't really have anybody lined up until probably the next year, which of course is not very long from now. But
10 days.
you know, a lot of stars are trying to get their bearings after the strike, because it just threw everybody off and into a tizzy, and it's just nobody knows what they're supposed to be doing right now. And a lot of it was very hard doing interviews during the strike too, because they were sequestered from saying things about their career. They couldn't promote themselves, which was really weird, trying to carry on a conversation with a star that can't say, well, Loretta Swit didn't care. She said, I'll say, Nash, just have him come get me. You know, so it's like, of course, what am I not going to say, Nash? You know, and so it's been really fun getting to know these people, because what I've come to find out is that every single one of them, bar none, are the most down-to-earth, wonderful people you could ever want to talk to. And that seems to be the common thread of these legendary stars that I keep lucky enough getting a chance to try to talk to. And it is scary, I'll tell you, because you never talked to them before. And next thing you know, you're on. It's like, let's try not to be stupid.
No.
Okay, well, thank God they're not live.
So Pat, your podcast has become one of my top 3 podcasts. I just love listening to it every week. You know, even when you'll have a guest and I'll say, you know, I don't know how interested I am. Ultimately, you and your guest with your conversation, you just suck me in. So
yeah, they're great.
Pat, we didn't strike in radio. I'm available if you need me.
Yeah, right. Well, again, it's Retro TV Radio, and that is the podcast. Golden Rage of TV is about to make a big change. If you look behind me, there's no green screen. There's always been a green screen. That's gone.
Really?
Wow.
I am about to, as I have been since I started doing this 10 years ago, I've had to pivot to whatever I can do based on whether my ears can handle playing music, because of course that's how it all started, to becoming a talking head. And, you know, YouTube, it's a strange animal. You can do a lot of fine work, and it can be cold, to say the least. And so it's been tough for me to kind of hold on with the return on investment, as my buddy Dave says. And there's been a lot of investment on my part. So I don't know really what's going to happen here in the next year. I know that I'm going to pivot again. It'll still have to do with nostalgia. It may just be me and Tracy Roth Myers, because I kind of think the same way as her. You know, I'm very much into the nostalgic film. So I might be leaning a little more towards there and a little less down the road of television, because I think I've covered every dang television show in the history of classic television ever, and probably more than once.
I'm being dumped again. I don't believe this. I'm being dumped again.
Well,
here's what Pat has, to his point, he has an inventory of 10 years worth of material you can use on your show. I'm offering up your material, Pat, so hope you don't mind.
Well, I told him that. And as a matter of fact, I've given him about 10 years worth of spots. So Barry's got them for free, I might add.
That's true.
Actually, the bill's in the mail, Barry. You just get ready. But no, I love you guys. I love all of you. Dave, Thrash, Barry, the lovely ladies, and you guys in the chat. You know how I feel about you and how much I appreciate you. So I'm going to keep it on. Just be ready.
We're excited to go with you on whatever journey you take, Pat.
Be ready, because it's going to be different. It has to be at this point.
And you know what? Here's the deal. I think with most YouTube creators, you have to pivot at some point. You continually look for what your community, you try to be in tune to what your community wants of you, and you have to listen. And sometimes that requires a pivot. So we wish you the very best of luck as you move forward, and we'll be there to support you every step of the way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you will. Thank you.
Pivot.
1,000%.
Well, folks, it has been a delightful hour 45, just hanging out with you. I'm going to echo what I've heard the gentleman say multiple times here, which is what an absolute treat it is to be able to add a couple new retro pals to the live stream.
Yay!
And as long as you continue to create and find ways to be innovative here on YouTube, I am always going to extend an offer to you to join us when we have these events. And if you're able to, that's great. If you're busy, we'll understand and ask you the next time. We'll just keep at it. So thank you both for joining us tonight. It's so great.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
The last time I had you on RNG, we just had a still image. So this is wonderful to have you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
really.
did some pivoting.
And
yeah.
I love RNG. She's great. She
She's
gives us
amazing.
females a great name because there's not very many of us.
Yeah.
I will
But-
also echo what I heard said multiple times, which is this community. I mean, just what a wonderful community we have. So many wonderful people that provide support in so many different ways. And what I really love is the level of, I think Thrash calls it fellowship when he is referring to it on his live streams, the level of fellowship, camaraderie, and just overall kindness that I see in the chat as you all interact with each other. So thank you all for, this will probably be the only general live stream that I have this year, and we're only 10 days away from the new year, but this is it. So I do want to thank everybody for all just being so wonderful. This is what keeps me going as a creator, is knowing that you are all out there and that this is a common bond that we have. This is kind of what holds us together. So appreciate all of you. I'm going to bring Fred on to say what no one can say better than Mr. Frederick J. Rogers. And then I'm going to play that song that I promised. And to all of my retro pals, thank you so much for joining me tonight. You are
Merry Christmas.
Happy
holidays.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas, everyone.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy
New Year.
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you might celebrate. I hope it's Festivus or Festivus. I do enjoy a good airing of grievances around me. All right. Fred Rogers, where are you?
You are special.
Not everyone.
Indeed you are. Good night, everybody.
Merry
Bye,
Christmas.
guys.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Happy
Love you all.
holidays.
Bah humbug. Gather round, children. Let me tell you a story. Christmas morning, I ran down the stairs. I ran toward the fireplace. I flew through the air. I looked in my stocking. There was no Christmas joy. I got a stupid stocking stuffer. Instead of a toy, I got fruit. I got fruit. I got a freaking orange, yeah. I got fruit. I got fruit. I got a freaking orange, yeah. So I looked at my mother. I looked at my dad. I asked, why would Santa bring me something stupid like that? Of all of the things that I had asked Santa for, why would he get my stocking stuffer at a grocery store? I got fruit. I got fruit. I got a freaking orange, yeah. I got fruit. I got fruit. I got a freaking orange, yeah. 30 years later, I have my own kids. They run down the staircase exactly like I did. They look in their stockings and tears fill their eyes. I feel their pain as they realize that they got fruit. They got a freaking orange, yeah. They got fruit. Maybe you were just naughty this year. They got a freaking orange, yeah, yeah. They got a stupid stocking stuffer. Fruit. A stupid stocking stuffer. Fruit. A stupid stocking stuffer. A stupid stocking stuffer. Fruit. A stupid stocking stuffer. Fruit. A stupid stocking stuffer. They got fruit. They got fruit. They got a freaking orange, yeah, yeah. They got fruit. They got fruit. They got a freaking orange, yeah, yeah. They got fruit.
Yeah, it really kind of sucked. Of course, it wasn't as bad as the year we got the peanuts in the bottom of our stocking. Or the year when we got a pencil and eraser. It was an orange. A freaking orange.
Happy holidays! Now go eat some fruit! Especially you!
Aw, that's sweet.
That was adorable.